Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is a Nike Air Force One React. So this shoe is going for 120 bucks, which I don't think is a bad price. The original Air Force One are just with no tech in it, like not the Flyknit, it's just the regular Air Force One is $90. So you're literally paying $30 more for this. That's it, which I feel like is kind of a ripoff, but I mean, it's an Air Force One React and a lot of people like it. And 120 bucks isn't too expensive. Like the Epic React is 150 and so is the Air Force One React. So I feel like it's a pretty good price. And this shoe came out like a month or two ago, which sucks because when they had the leak or the release date, they didn't release it on sneakers. I actually woke up early to get the shoes and it never went on the sneakers app until like a little bit later, like a week or two later I believe. So I missed it and I totally forgot about the shoe, and then I remembered very recently about it. I was like, oh, I wonder what happened, and I went to check and then it was already released. But they still have sizes available, especially in this colorway. The black colorway didn't really have any sizes, and there was another gray colorway which I believe had a lot of sizes available as well. So if you guys want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. But yeah, this is just a casual review, and let's get it started off with the traction. So for the overall traction pattern, it's very similar to the original, but a little bit different. So they kept the original aesthetic, right? I mean, you have like a pivot point here underneath the ball of your foot as well as in the heel, and then you have these circles rippling out from the pivot point. But these actual ripples or circles have lines in them, like the original Air Force One did not. And it's slightly cored out, I would say. If you look at the Air Force One Flyknit, look at how cored out that is, you know, and that reduces a lot of weight, because in most shoes, the midsole and the outsole take up a good amount of the weight. So that's what made the Air Force One Flyknit just super light. But they actually didn't do that as much. I feel like they just try to keep it as original as possible, which I like. And another really cool touch is if you look at the original Air Force One or just this Flyknit one, here in the toe and the heel area, there's like this star-studded pattern. You can also find this pattern on Jordan 1s. So that's what they used to do. But in this new model, it actually has a React pattern. So if you ever looked at like Nike shoes, the React cushioning, it has this really cool pattern, right? And if you look at the actual midsole from the shoe, it has that React pattern as well. So they put that exact pattern here in the toe and in the heel area instead of that star stud pattern, which I think is a really cool and minor detail, but everything else is pretty much the same. And so there's the outsole. As far as the midsole goes, so here in the Flyknits, they actually made a different type of midsole. So this midsole is super soft. It has a lot of compression. It's very comfortable. I mean, here, especially here in the heel, there's a lot of compression, right? So just walking around in the shoe was very comfortable, because in the original Air Force Ones, it's just rubber and that's it. I mean, there's an air unit. I believe it was a full-length air unit, but I mean, it's very stiff, not very comfortable. But obviously they changed it up here in the React, so they put a full-length drop-in React midsole with an air unit here in the heel, which I feel like they deliberately did because they want to keep the Air branding on the shoes. So it says Nike Air here on the tongue as well as in the back, because obviously if you don't have Air, then you can't really put it on the shoe because you're advertising that it does have it, right? So they put a pretty small teardrop-like shaped air unit here in the heel. It's bottom loaded, but it's really nice. If you guys have ever felt like the, you know, the Kobe 11 ID, and you can put that full-length zoom unit underneath the Lunarlon, drop-in Lunarlon, then it feels pretty similar to that. There's just so much compression in the heel. It's super soft. I really like it. The forefoot, it does bottom out a little bit, and it's a little bit harder to feel in the forefoot. You know, it's more stiff, but that's okay. One thing that I did notice, and this is apparent for just all Air Forces, is that you're really high up off the ground, but it's just a casual shoe. You're just walking around, so I didn't really mind it as much. But one thing that I did not like is that it's very heavy underneath your foot. You know, it feels like Vans. You can definitely still feel the weight of the shoe from this actual rubber part, this midsole, I would say, midsole outsole combo. And then here in the heel, it says Air, it says Nike React with this thin plastic ring going around the heel. Also, it says Nike React here on the drop-in midsole. I guess it's kind of like the insole. There is no insole in the shoe because it is a drop-in midsole, but there is a nice little texture on top of this drop-in midsole, which helps grip your foot. So the overall cushion is actually pretty damn comfortable. One thing to note is that it is still kind of clunky because the actual, like this part doesn't compress at all. But to be honest, I feel like I like the Flyknit version a little bit better because this is just super soft. I mean, I really like that. But this is still very comfortable and it's miles better than just having no cushion from the original Air Force One. As far as the materials go, I mean, this leather material is very cheap feeling. I mean, it doesn't feel very nice at all. Very thin cuts of cheap leather, I would say. And then here in the midfoot area, as well as in the tongue, it's more like this mesh or ballistic nylon type of material. And I like how they kind of blended that all together to make it feel like more of a modern shoe. But I guess you can't really complain about the material quality because it's only $120. I also really like how they kept the overall aesthetic pretty much the same as the original. I mean, like the Flyknit, it doesn't really look like an Air Force One as much, you know? I mean, you can tell that it's Air Force One, but like something's off, you know what I'm saying? But this stays true to the original design. This tongue is slightly padded. It's this mesh material, so that feels okay. I wish it was a little bit more padded. I wish it was a little bit thicker, but that's okay. And of course, you have this enlarged swoosh. It's literally just painted on, and I guess this gives it more of that modern look. And then moving on to the fit, I went true to size and it was pretty good for me. I mean, like with shoes like this, you know, with the leather material like Jordans, I honestly don't mind if there's a little bit of room. Like for example, in like Epic Reacts, like runners with a very stretchy knit, I like to have a very snug fit, and that's really comfortable for me. But for these types of shoes, I don't really mind if it's a little bit bigger than normal. But yeah, I went true to size, and lengthwise it was okay. There is a good amount of toe space, and it is slightly wide. As far as the weight goes, I'm very curious. So it feels very heavy still, even though they put React. I'm guessing around 14? Ooh, 14.04 ounces. Let's see how much the Flyknit is. Probably like 10. Oh my god, 8.82 ounces. So you guys can see the difference of the weight. So they cored it out, made it a lot lighter. This midsole is actually not rubber. It's just a foam. And that also makes the shoe a lot lighter. And this Flyknit material makes it a lot lighter as well. So, I mean, they kept, like I said, they kept all the elements the same as the original. So that's why it's heavy. And it feels heavy and feels clunky and all that. And I'm very curious as to how much the React midsole is. Let's see, like 2? Yeah, 2.36 ounces. So even just the shell of the shoe without the React is still heavy. 11.71 ounces. This, without the React midsole, is still heavier than this entire shoe. So yeah, I mean, ventilation is warm, the shoe's hot. Not a lot of room for ventilation and airflow. Aesthetics, I mean, I really like it. It's an Air Force One, and I also really like the enlarged swoosh. I can see a lot of people not liking it, but you know, personally, I do like it. Tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics. And just wrapping things up, is it worth $30 more just for this React midsole? I don't know, $30 is a lot, but it's still comfortable, and I feel like it makes this shoe a lot easier to wear and walk around in all day compared to the original Air Force Ones. So if that's worth it to you, then go ahead and cop it. To me personally, I really like it. The Air Force One is more just an aesthetic shoe, so obviously you're not going to be wearing it for comfortable purposes. But if you can have it comfortable and look good, then why not, right? Personally, I like the Flyknit a little bit better. I feel like it still looks dope and it's more comfortable for me. But this is still very nice. So yeah, I feel like Nike did a very good job on redesigning the Air Force Ones with modern technology and making it more comfortable. I mean, you know, like the Jordan 1 React, where they actually changed up a lot of the design, like the midsole, and the React isn't even that comfortable. I wish Jordan would just do this. You know, maybe make a few tweaks on the design, but just keep this aesthetic here and put a full-length drop-in React midsole into the Jordan 1 or 2 or whatever. And that would be awesome. And I feel like that would sell well as well. But they have the Zoom stroll unit, which is also really cool. But anyways, that's my review on the Air Force One React. Again, if you guys want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next one.